What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about why I am getting Astro Bot. This is a video series I do where I talk about an upcoming game and mainly talk about why I am getting the game, although, as I've said, I'm up for changing it up and making videos on games that I'm not getting. But let me tell you something, okay? When it comes to this fall, we've talked about the Dragon Balls, and we're going to continue, talking about some of these games, but Dragon Ball, Metaphor, Life is Strange Double Exposure. There's a couple really big ones to me, my most anticipated. Astro Bot's up there. Astro Bot is probably a top 2, top 4, along with those other 3. I can't wait. And in this video, we're going to talk about just, why I'm so excited and to kind of get ourselves ready for it, right? Comes out September 6th, exclusively on the PS5. Man, this game really is the game of my dream. And honestly, this is probably the video to kind of vent that out and talk about it, right? I've been asking for these types of games, maybe not even necessarily this specific game, but just to kind of go against the grain. It's not like they're making a new genre, right? It's not like they're going like a hard left into this foreign, void that nobody's ever been in. We're just getting a game that we've honestly really distanced ourselves from when it comes to the PlayStation ecosystem. We have all these open world games. They were trying to do the live service push that didn't really end up turning into anything, right? But even before that, you do think of the open world games. You think of the Horizons and Days Gones of the world, and even say like a God of War, newer God of Wars, like they've become semi-open world. A lot of those games are very good. A lot of those games are game of the year type games. Okay, so I'm not necessarily putting them down, but I've always said, why can't we have both? Can we have some games like Astro Bot? And to be honest with you, I'm recording this about a month early. You guys will see it just, maybe a week or so after I'm recording it. We still don't have that much. Like, in terms of the visual videos, I guess, right, that we have of this game, we really don't have a ton. And I will tell you this, I think, from the bottom of my heart, and this is probably how Astro stands apart from all those other games I've talked about. I feel the most confident on Astro, probably of any of the games this fall, including games I'm more anticipating, right, with less footage. We have seen less of Astro than, say, Life is Strange, and I feel more confident, different reasons, and it gets more complex, but I think Astro is just such a, and this could come back to bite me, but I'm a confident guy, and I honestly feel really good about this game, so I'll say it. This game feels like a very safe, very good game. It might be excellent. It might be very good. It might be great, right? Those kind of words. I would be shocked. My jaw would hit the floor if this game comes out and it's bad. And it's bad. It just doesn't feel like that's possible. Again, what we have seen looks amazing. I actually just recently replayed, I should say, Astro's Playroom. I'm actually going to do a whole retrospective video on it on my third channel, Podcast Now Back to the Past. And if there's ever a game to kind of like endorse like the next, like to get you excited to endorse the game that comes after it, it's Astro's Playroom. Do yourselves a favor. And if you're even feeling a little concerned of like, am I going to like Astro Bot? Go replay or play for the first time Astro's Playroom, and then you tell me. It's such a short game, but it's such a honestly perfect game. The visuals, how they handle the DualSense, the platforming is so good. The respect to PlayStation is so good. And Astro Bot feels like everything we don't know for sure, but I'm pretty confident. Astro Bot is going to be everything Astro's Playroom was times 10. 80 plus levels, right? Bosses. There were a couple bosses in Astro's Play, but not many. They were cool, but just not many of them. All right, give me a bunch. Give me a dozen. Give me a baker's dozen. Give me more, right? So many more levels. I don't even know how many levels you want to say more than Astro's Playroom. The PlayStation icons, right? Now you're that's the point now. You're rescuing them plus others, right? But there'll be PlayStation icons. There'll be third-party icons. It sounds like / seems like you'll use their weaponry. Like you'll use Kratos' axe. And if you give me, by the way, if you give me Sly Cooper's cane, I'll cry. Because it's the closest you can get. You can fake being Sly Cooper, right? You can't play Sly in Sly 5, but you can get kind of close in this game. We'll see. I don't know if you can actually do that, but he better be a character that you have to save in this game. So, I don't know. I'm just so excited to go into this light, and that's another thing too. I'm not like super into, or like I'm not going to defend one way or the other, but it's a lighter, family friendly, like kid friendly. I think anybody can kind of play, which maybe the anybody part is important, right? Because you think to like Horizon, Forbidden West. Can everybody play that? Can anybody play that game? Probably not. I think there is like a limit. You're kind of limiting yourself to a certain group. It's a big group, but you are doing it. For Astro Bot, I feel like it's kind of up everybody. For young, for old, for people that grew up on platformers, for people that feel like me, right? And I guess I also did. Like I grew up on Crash and Spyro and stuff, but some of those are more hardcore platformers than others. But this feels like a game that's going back to that, like for me, like golden era, right? But again, I'm up for all sorts of different kinds of games. I play a big variety, right, of these games. But I'm looking for a game like Astro Bot, and it's why I'm very excited about the fall. Because again, if you notice, Life is Strange, Metaphor, Dragon Ball, Astro. You can keep going too, like Indiana Jones, Dragon Age, right? They're actually very different. Like every game is different from the next. So although Astro Bot comes out in a very packed time, it's something I like to do in these videos is also talk about when it comes out. So September 6th, I mean, it's maybe the most packed, right? September has a couple patches where everything comes out at once. I do think Astro, let me be a little controversial, I think Astro is actually the biggest game in all of September. You got Lollipop Chainsaw, Disney's Epic Mickey, Dead Rising, right? So you got a couple remasters, remakes. You got the Quidditch Champions of the world. You got Casting of Frank Stone. You have Space Marine 2. Maybe Space Marine 2, that's a pretty big game. But Astro Bot, I feel like is going to be very big. And also, in terms of why I'm getting, the title, why I'm getting Astro Bot, I'm 99% getting the game to enjoy the game. There is a part of me, and I do think it's important, although it's not a requirement. People don't need to go out of their way, to do that, because I'm not one to force things on people. Okay, if you've watched my channel, this can be a proving type game. This can be a game that with enough support can prove something to Sony. Now, it doesn't mean they take the right message from it. We've seen WB, right? Hogwarts Legacy comes out, and they take every lesson from it except for the right ones. They only take the bad lessons, right? Or they take lessons that aren't even, lessons in general, and they kind of spin it. So granted, is it guaranteed that PlayStation would get the right message out of Astro Bot being a 3, 4, 5, 6 million unit sold game? It's not guaranteed, but I think it's highly likely that if the game, and I do think those are kind of the numbers, right? And that's a big range, but I think this game, if it can get 3, 4, 5 million, that would be a substantial amount of people. That would match some of these other PlayStation, now not all of them, but it would match some of the games in the PS5 era. And again, I think it would just show, hey, does that mean we maybe want more Ratchet and Clanks? Does that mean Sly Cooper? Does it mean platformers? Maybe just the John. Like, of course, I want this to bring back Sly. I want this to be able to make more Astro games. The worst thing that could happen is that after this, that they make, Asobi do God knows what that's not like this, right? That would be the worst freaking case scenario. But the best is you can kind of usher in this blend, this melding of, hey, maybe we, again, doesn't mean replace every open world game with a platformer. It means maybe we can have more of these to kind of, just be in harmony or in unison with the other games on PlayStation. I'm really hoping for that. But I got to be honest, like, that is a part of it. But it is a small part. That's something that happens after. If the game sells well, that's like an after effect, right? Where we can kind of measure that and see where PlayStation takes it months and years after. The game itself is the game itself, right? It's something that I'm very, very excited to actually play. I know I kind of, glanced over the DualSense, but let me just throw that out there really fast on this video. The DualSense features in Astro's Playroom are unmatched. I don't know why it's never been matched. Developers just don't care. But if you replay Playroom, you'll remember, you'll already know, right? The things that they do with that controller are unbelievably good, and nobody's done anything close to it. This game should do it. In fact, I believe they said they have a team inside Team Asobi that just works on finding new things to do with the DualSense. Love it. Love to hear it, right? Everything we've heard about this game's been spectacular, by the way, right? But even how the game plays, literally feeling the controller, I feel like it's going to be kind of a one-of-a-kind. That really will make it stand out, because some of the platforming things, a platformer's a platformer. Astro has a little bit of floatiness, like some of like the almost gymnastics or like the spins that he does with the like some of it's a little different than like any other platform out there, but for the controller feel, that is, I think, what makes it truly unique. Plus the style, the PlayStation influence, all that jazz. I think it's going to be a very special game. So there you go. That's why I'm getting the game. You let me know what you think in the comments if you're getting it. And please, for the love of it, give it a try. Okay, I'm not going to force it, but, if you're interested. Now, let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.